In this video, I'm going to show you how to record the screen on your Mac with your Mac's internal audio using a free audio plugin called BlackHole. Now, if you're running macOS 10.14 or later, then you have access to Screenshot, the Mac's built-in screen recording software. Works great, except it won't record your Mac's internal audio. Now, I've made a couple of videos that show you how to overcome that problem, and in those videos I use a free audio plugin called iShowU Audio Capture. But I recently discovered another free, more modern audio plugin that's great for capturing my Mac's internal audio, for screen recording, and a whole lot more. The plugin is called BlackHole, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use BlackHole to record your Mac's internal audio for your screen recordings, with or without a voiceover. Let's jump in. All right, to get started, I'm first going to download the free BlackHole plugin from this page on GitHub. I'll put the link to this page in the description below. BlackHole is developed by Existential Audio. Now, if you scroll down the page to the Easy Installation Instructions section, you'll find a link to download the installer for the plugin, but you'll also find some important instructions, and that is to make sure that you close all running audio applications before installing BlackHole. I'll click the download link, and I'm brought to a page on the Existential Audio website. Now, in order to download the actual plugin, you need to complete this form with your name and email address. Then click this subscribe button. And the actual plugin download link will be sent to the email address you put in the form. So this plugin isn't absolutely free. It costs you an email address. Now, it might take a few minutes for the email to arrive. You may also want to check your spam folder to see if the email landed there. Once you get the email from Existential Audio, you just click this link right here. And you're brought to a download page on Existential Audio's website where you can finally download BlackHole by clicking this button here. Then just follow the install instructions. Once the install is finished, the next thing we need to do is open up Audio MIDI Setup on our Mac. So I'll hit Command Spacebar to bring up the Spotlight search interface. Then I'll start typing Audio MIDI Setup, and there it is highlighted at the top of the results. I'll hit Return, and Audio MIDI Setup opens. All right, to set up our screen recording to include internal audio from our Mac, we need to do some virtual wiring here in the Audio MIDI Setup interface. Now, if you installed BlackHole properly, you should see it here in the left panel with your other audio sources. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down and select this little plus sign at the bottom left of the interface. And from the drop-down menu, I'll select Create Aggregate Device. An aggregate device allows you to group together different audio sources so they can act as one audio source. In this case, this aggregate device is going to allow us to group together different audio inputs. The different audio inputs I can group together are here in this panel on the right. Now, before I do anything, I'm just going to label my aggregate device Screen Recording so I know what it is. Now, if all you want to do is record your Mac's internal audio, select BlackHole 16 channel in the list here. I'm going to leave the sample rate set to 44.1 kilohertz for this demo. Now, you can change it to 48 kilohertz, which is the standard audio sample rate for digital video, if you want to. Just make sure any other audio devices you're using use the same sample rate. I'm going to leave mine set at 44.1 kilohertz for this. It works just fine. But let's say you want to record a voiceover along with your Mac's internal audio, like for a tutorial. Then you would add your microphone to the aggregate device by also checking it in the list. Now, I'm using an XLR microphone connected to my Scarlett Solo USB audio interface. So I'll check Scarlett Solo in this list to add my microphone. And now I'll be able to record my microphone sound along with my Mac's internal audio. Now, before I go any further, I'm going to select the Scarlett Solo in the audio devices list over here to make sure it's using the same sample rate as the BlackHole plugin, which is 44.1 kilohertz. Back on the aggregate device, for clock source, I found choosing hardware like the microphone works best. So I'll select the Scarlett Solo. All right, that's it for the aggregate device. The next thing we need to do is go back down to that little plus button, select it, and this time from the list, select multi-output device. The aggregate device is just capturing the computer sound and the sound from my microphone. It's the input. I need to output those sound sources in order for a screenshot or QuickTime player to record them. So to do that, I need to create a multi-output device. Now, like the aggregate device, there are settings and devices I can add to the multi-output device. But first, I'm going to rename the multi-output device to Screen Record with Comp for computer sound. Next, I'll make sure the sample rate for the multi-output device is set to 44.1 kilohertz to match my other devices. Then in the list of devices, the first one I'll select is built-in output. Checking this will allow me to monitor the sounds coming from the computer while I play them back and record them in Screenshot. Important if I need to stop talking when the computer sounds play. Now, I suggest you use headphones instead of your speakers for monitoring the sounds to avoid unwanted echo and feedback. Again, I'll go over and make sure the sample rate for the built-in output is set to 44.1 kilohertz to match my other devices. Next, I'll go down and select BlackHole 16 channel, which is capturing and outputting the computer sounds. And I'll make sure its output is set to 44.1 kilohertz to match the other devices. Now, if all you wanted to do was record your Mac's internal audio, you could leave just these two devices selected in the multi-output device. And then you could monitor your Mac's internal audio while recording it through BlackHole. But if you're adding a voiceover to your screen recording, like I'm doing in this demo, you need to add your microphone to the multi-output device so your mic can be recorded. And I'll do that by just checking my microphone output, the Scarlett Solo, to add it to this list. Again, I'll go over and make sure the sample rate for my microphone output is set to 44.1 kilohertz to match my other devices. Now, for the best results, make sure built-in output is the first in the list here, followed by BlackHole 16 channel, then your microphone. Now, if you need to, just deselect and reselect the devices in the correct order. Also, make sure master device is set to built-in output. All right, we're done here in audio MIDI setup, so I'll close out of that. Next thing we need to do is go up to the Apple icon in the top menu bar, select it, then select System Preferences, then go to Sound and select the Output button. Now, output is typically set to your internal speakers or your headphones or whatever you have connected to your Mac for audio output. You want to make sure Screen Record with Comp, that multi-output device we created, is selected. Then I'll select the Input button and select BlackHole 16 channel. Now, this slider down here adjusts the input level or volume of the computer sound coming through BlackHole. Now, I prefer to leave this all the way up and adjust the volume of the computer sounds on the sources themselves. So if I'm playing a video, I'll control the volume of the video on the video player. But you can adjust those levels here if you want to set them a little lower. Now, if you're not hearing any computer sounds, check this setting to make sure the level is turned up. Now again, if all you were doing was recording your Mac's internal audio, you could move on to the next step from here. But if you're recording a voiceover along with the computer sound like I'm doing in this demo, you'll want to check your mic levels as well. With the input button still selected, I'll select my microphone source, the Scarlett Solo. Then I'll speak into my microphone at the level I'll use while recording and adjust the gain on the Scarlett Solo until I get a good level. Now, if you're using a USB mic, there would be a volume slider here you would use to adjust your mic level. And as I always say, don't set your mic level too high or the sound will be distorted, not pleasant for your audience. With all that done, I'll close out of System Preferences. Now we're ready to set up our screen recording in Screenshot. So to record my screen, I'm going to bring up Screenshot by using the keyboard shortcut Shift-Command-5. Now you can also open Screenshot through QuickTime Player by going up to File and selecting New Screen Recording. You'll get the same Screenshot interface. With the Screenshot interface open, go over and select the Options menu. Under Microphone, select Screen Recording, the aggregate device we created in Audio MIDI Setup. Now, when I record my screen, I'll be recording the computer sounds and, in my case, my microphone for a voiceover. When you're finished recording, be sure to switch the audio output of your Mac from the Screen Record with Computer Sound, that multi-output device, back to the default audio output, the internal speakers or the headphones. Now you can do that here in System Preferences, or by just going up to the speaker icon on the top menu, selecting it, and from the list, selecting your default audio output, in my case, headphones. The reason you switch this back is so that you can adjust your speaker volume again, because when the multi-output device is selected as the output, you can't control the volume of your speakers. Now just remember, if you want to record your screen with computer sound or computer sound and voiceover, again, you need to switch your Mac's output back to that multi-output device, or this whole operation won't work. And that's how you can use the free audio plugin called BlackHole to record your Mac's internal audio with your screen recordings. Now, if you want to learn more about how to record your Mac screen, have a look at these other tutorials on my channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.